the same as somebody saying that it was all about cancer research. I mean, the study covers a wide array of things, so not just one individual things, and both of those things are included. I just think it's
so we're talking
about just so you guys know, you can't make a mouse transgendered.
Yeah,
you understand?
Impossible.
It's not possible.
We know what
like
it is.
It's a physical
we're talking about the effect in the mind. It's actually studying the behaviors.
Yeah,
that's what it's studying. We know that it has to in order to make someone transgender, it's a procedure that needs to take place, man. We're talking about the behavior.
Hold on 1 second. How is it impossible? Can you make a human transgender?
With intervention.
Okay, so with intervention, can you make a mouse transgender?
You're saying you're intervening, making this a moot point.
Gender is a choice.
I mean, if that's the case,
gender is a choice.
Right, but you can change the gender of a mice, can you not? Without
no, you can't.
So mice don't have a gender. Is that what you're saying?
No, mice have gender, but we can't change it.
Okay, so you're confused.
Okay, so why is it that we can change the human gender?
No, because in the concept of gender is different from sex. Sex is named upon birth.
That's okay.
You can change the sex of a transgenic mouse, but you can't change the gender because a rat can't talk to you and tell you what its gender is.
Oh, okay.
But can you see
great point.
Gender? Can you see a gender?
It's like I have two male cats.
I'm asking you,
My
can you see
how you perceive gender?
Will
can
sometimes
see
hump
a
each
gender?
other.
Can
But
you
like
see a gender?
They
Can you
can't
see
tell
a
me
gender?
that they're gay, right?
Can you see a gender? Yes or no?
No, because a gender is
Okay, so a gender is just some shit that it's a figment of our imagination.
it's a
Okay,
spectrum. It's not a physical thing. It's not something that exists. It's not like a physical
but
thing.
it's a study of the behavior. You guys know it's about the behavior. It's studying the different behaviors, changing behavior.
And I think we are making a 1434 around the universe with all this creepy stuff right now.
You can't see a gender, then why are you changing it? That doesn't make any sense. But nevertheless, I want to go back to what we were talking about, which is CNN or whoever Miss Michelle just pulled up, saying that indeed there was some studies going on these mice, some transgender studies or something like that.
Monkeys, not mice.
Yeah.
Mice, rats. What?
Yeah, you know before you do a surgery
mouse,
or
mice, rats, it doesn't matter.
It really does matter.
Because
it really does matter.
technique on humans,
Hold
you
on
have to
1
get
second.
the
Mickey
approval by
Mouse,
doing it on
please.
animals.
Bitchy Mouse, please. Is it Blixie?
Blicky.
Blicky, I'm sorry. So why does it matter?
So like if you want to prefer like
no, the person that says it doesn't matter.
I said it matters.
I'm telling you it matters. It matters because we test these things on animals before we do them on humans, right?
Can I please just read this paragraph from the same article?
What matters? What's wrong with y'all? What matters?
Can I explain, or are you just going to talk over me?
I am asking you what matters.
I'm trying to explain to you what matters.
I didn't ask you why. I said what matters.
I'm telling you what matters. And what matters is you test on animals before you do the techniques and surgeries on humans. The first successful heart transplant was performed by a pig.
We're talking about two different things.
We're talking about.
Can I please read this one paragraph? So
he's explaining it very well to you.
Everyone can understand.
We're talking about research and medical procedures, and you don't want me to be right, so you talk over me because you're an idiot.
Bro,
I don't give a damn whether you're right or wrong. I don't care if you're
right.
Well,
that's a problem. How could you be what do you care if someone's right? You should care if someone's right.
I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about right now. So that's why I asked what matters. I don't know what we talking about right now. Y'all keep saying all these different things. I don't need to know why, when, where. I need to know what we are talking about so I can know what matters.
May I clarify?
But y'all want to just talk and go like water mouths. I don't even know. Damn, just calm down. Blicky Mouse, come back up. One moment. I got you, Adam. One moment. Hey, Mr. Denali, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I just came up real quick that, listen, please do not talk over the host. It's her show. When you hear her voice, you probably need to stop talking and let her get her point out, and then you can respond. We'll start muting and dropping people if you cannot respect the host. So please don't let my itchy drop and mute button go into effect. So please respect the host. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye. Drop me down, Candid.
Drop me down, drop down,
Drop me down. Don't start.
Yeah. So, Blicky Mouse, you said you were trying to prove me wrong, and it's something that I don't know what you were
That's
saying.
not what I said. You were asking what matters and what we're talking about. Everyone's bringing up the transgenic mice thing, and why does it matter, and why are we putting funds towards this type of research? Everything that is done to a human.
Let's see. What are we talking about? What is your position?
Oh my God, dude.
May I interject?
I don't have the attention span to keep up with more than one thing at a time. This is not a childish live I can be in.
All right, bro.
I was in the bottom. You asked host, you said, why does it matter if it's a rat, a monkey, or whatever? And he said it does matter.
That's what I thought.
He missed the point, though.
So
yeah, it does matter because
it's
changing stories out, the funding, all of it.
Yeah, but the thing is that those studies actually use mice, monkeys, and etc. It's not that it was just covering just one or the other. Like
the funding was specifically for mice.
May I interject?
I said mice. Somebody
that
said
was
it
part
was
of.
mice.
Yeah.
Was it mice? Yes or no?
110%. Yes.
Okay, Tamika, am I right or wrong? Did someone said it wasn't mice?
Yes, ma'am. Somebody said it's not mice, it's monkeys. And you said, I don't care if it's rats or monkeys or mice or whatever. I'm trying to, and that's
okay. I was because I thought it was.
That's why it matters. That's what we're saying. It does matter. We're speaking specific.
Well, because I said mice. Listen, I'm not right or wrong in this. I don't think either one of you are right or wrong. I think what we're talking about at this moment was the fact that when Trump made his address to the nation speech and he said something about funding for transgender mice or mouse or whatever, people said it was wrong. These were transgenic mice, but they never said whether or not the research on these transgenic mice, quote unquote, was indeed related to transgender stuff. Miss Michelle said there was a CNN article, and CNN came back and had to recant their statement and or elaborate more and said that, yeah, some of those studies on these transgenic mice was indeed in relation to transgender stuff. Am I correct, Michelle?
Yes.
It's incorrect, though.
Okay, so that's what we were talking
That's
about.
not incorrect in itself.
May I clarify?
Is that wrong, Ross? Hold on, Adam, because we don't know who Ross Boss is. This is Ross' first time. Welcome to the panel. So, Ross Boss, is that wrong?
It is. I confer to Adam, whoever was talking. Yeah.
May I just clarify?
Yep.
Okay, so CNN got it wrong with their correction when they tried to fact check Donald Trump on it. They mentioned the research with monkeys. However, they had to retract because that specific research with monkeys actually did have transgender research involved with it. Let me just finish this.
Let him finish because you gave him your time, so please don't interrupt him.
Funding with monkeys that was back in 2021, 2022, that did have some aspect of like using chemicals that are usually related to gender affirming care involved with its research. However, when it comes to the transgenic mice, the study in 2023 that $300,000 was given to, that was part of this this group of research requirements that was given $8 million to, that was mentioned in the State of the Union address by Donald Trump. that particular study, the transgenic mice, what happened was mice are genetically engineered for the purpose of they would testing, see how they would react to different chemicals in relation to HIV and cancer research, including steroids typically given to cancer patients that included testosterone.
They've been doing that for years too. So like
that's
inevitable.
It's not about trying to change
So
mice
here's,
to be
here's the
transgender.
thing, though. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? And this is why I don't necessarily have a position on this, because the foreign DNA, we said these were human cells, correct? That was injected into these mice, correct?
They were genetically engineered, yes.
Okay. Do we know what
Not
type of
just
humans these
injected.
were? Were these transgender humans? Were these LGBTQ
That's not how it
humans?
works.
Were they trying to see if the medications for gender affirming care, how will it respond or react to these people that
No,
we
this is
don't know
backbending.
that
It doesn't
part.
say any of that.
This is cancer research we're talking
Right.
about.
You don't have to make it up. It's there. And what?
Hold on. It's not just cancer research, because you also mentioned HIV. So
Right, but
therefore,
it's not transgender. It has nothing to do
Transgenic
with that.
research does not specifically speaks just to research in cancer, guys. That's what I'm saying. Like
right,
you guys
and
are trying.
we don't
Tell me
know.
what they would be studying with
Times did a-
transgender.
did
Tell
an
me
article
exactly what they'd be studying.
One
Tell me,
moment.
tell me what
This
they'd be
is-
studying if it was
Hold on,
transgender.
this
International
Tell me
Business
that.
Times did an article about this that clears it out and
Okay,
puts in
but hold
plain-
on 1 second. Okay, so here's the thing.
Prove your
I'm a
point.
human. What type of human am I? I'm a Black person. Now, do I have any diseases or anything? Thank God that I don't, right? So if they put my DNA in a rat, I don't know what the hell they would be studying. What reacts to my DNA? I don't know. So whatever DNA, whatever human they pulled the DNA from to study their DNA, I think we need to validate what group or segment of humans they were studying. And it can very well be transgender humans. When I hear HIV, it sounds like maybe a certain group with these transgenic and confusion with transgender rats. I don't know, but we can't say it wasn't transgender stuff without understanding the human segment or population that the DNA was from.
Ma'am, it's not DNA.
not
I'm
how it
sorry,
works.
but you failed to
So what
understand.
was
It's
it?
not like you can take a
What
blood
was
test
it?
and
Y'all said it
determine
was
somebody.
human cells, right?
You can't blood test somebody and determine if they're transgender.
Sir,
I'm
you
sorry,
said,
but you
I'm
just
not,
don't. You fail to
you're missing
understand
my
that.
point. You are missing my point. The human.
No, I'm not. I'm not missing it.
I'm sorry. Ross is missing my point. Ross, you said these were human cells injected into, which were foreign DNA injected into the mice, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. My thing was these humans, the population of humans that they got these cells from, what population, what demographic, who were these humans? Do we know that?
Do you think demographics
I'm asking
or
a simple question. I don't want
DNA
any other
makeup is
questions.
different?
It's
That's
very
confounding two
simple.
different things.
It's very simple. What was the human population or the population that the specimens are from? Who were these humans? What type of humans? I think they're very specific in their research. So who or what identifiers were these humans? What about them made them want to study them and inject their DNA into the rats? Do you have that information?
That wasn't what
They
they were
probably
trying to study.
volunteered.
Excuse me, very specific question. I think it deserves a yes or no. Do you know?
I don't think it's that simple. I think that you'd like it to be that simple, but it's not that simple.
Okay, I think wait, I got a question for Ross. Ross, what are your pronouns, my brother? Can I ask you?
Is that different from my sex?
No. I'm just asking because you're very emotional. It seems
No,
that you
no,
have
that's-
a
I'm not
dog in
works.
this. It sounds like you have a
That's not
dog
how
in this
this
fight.
works.
I'm listening to you. I've been
Hey,
sitting
see,
here
this is
listening to you.
why it's very hard to talk to people like this because they want you. I don't know. They want to talk. I'm black. I'm a woman. I'm she. I'm her. Those are my pronouns. I want to know if you know the pronouns in a population of the humans that they extracted DNA from to put it in the rats. I just want to know.
That's
Do you
not
know
how
that?
it works.
That's
though.
not how it works.
They're not
Okay,
studying how
so
the,
here's the thing.
We're talking
That's
genetics.
exactly how it works.
Look,
So
no,
here's
that's
the thing,
specifically
just to
how
be
it's not
clear.
how it
Hold
works.
on, man. Hold on, because
It's not how it works, though.
it
It's
does.
just not.
The reason why y'all don't want to answer the question is because indeed this could have been the transgender population. This could have been them extracting DNA from the 1%. But since we do not know that, you all are just totally dismissing that it could it could in fact be from that population.
You're saying that you're
Hold on, go Ross. What am I saying? Don't.
you're
It's
saying it
okay.
shows up on a blood test?
Did I mention a blood test?
Well, with your logic, I'm trying to apply your logic.
Did I mention anything about blood tests?
I'm trying to apply your logic. That's
Sir,
all I'm doing.
My logic.
I'm trying to
comes from the
understand
fact-
using your logic.
Excuse me. No. You're stuck on blood tests. I made clear what I was talking about. I said, are these human
How can
cells?
you identify them?
I asked you, were these human cells? You said yes. I'm going off of that. I ain't talking nothing about no damn blood test. Human cells. So here's the thing. What population of humans? It's very specific. If they're doing cancer research, these people have cancer. If they're doing research on medications and how it responds to people with HIV, these people have HIV. I'm asking you during this research, the extraction from the humans, what population was that? That's all I'm asking. And because none of us know, we cannot say that this wasn't indeed some type of transgender stuff. But unless y'all do know, I would like to know. Unless you know, I can be wrong. But since none of us know the damn research, nor the population that the DNA was extracted from, we can't say that the man was wrong. Especially when CNN and other people have come back to say differently that indeed a segment of the studies was for transgender stuff. That's all I'm saying. And I land my plane.
And that's what I'm saying as well. Basically, the end result was that treatments were used in studying the impacts of treatments that are specifically for gender affirming care. And that's basically what I wanted to state, is that people are saying it's not, and it is. So mine too.
Adam and Boss, y'all have the floor now. Boss or Adam, I want one of these gentlemen to respond, and then it's open floor. So Ross, I'm sorry, Ross, Boss, or Adam, you can unmute your mic. Is it y'all don't have anything to say?
How do you identify someone who's transgender or a mouse who's transgender? I want you just to explain that for me. How would you explain that?
Can I answer this one, please, host?
Yeah, because I that's not my position.
So from what I'm hearing from Michelle,
Can you invite Mod? Can you invite Adam, the all black box, to unmute his mic? He said he can't unmute.
so from my understanding, from what Michelle read on the retraction, she said it had to do with gender affirming care. Now, gender affirming care, if I'm correct, you inject certain hormones to down press the testosterone to make a more feminine man. Am I correct about that? And if you withdrew DNA from this person who is taking certain medications to make more feminine, wouldn't that be what's injected into the mouse? Because it's in their blood, in their whatever. I mean,
You think it affects them on a DNA level?
Well,
that's what you guys confuse everything, and I understand that, but it's like
no, it's not confusing.
it's a social construct versus medical.
No, it's not a social construct. He literally, and that's what I was asking you. What's the human populace?
How did you ask the mouse how he identifies? How do you ask
May-
a mouse?
may- may I ask-
Everyone is
may I
asking
clear
a
this
mouse
up?
how they identify. How do you ask a mouse whether or not he has fucking cancer?
Right.
May I just clarify this, please?
Is the host,
So this
right?
is unfortunately this is not how the
Yeah,
the
y'all be
research
asking
is
some
on this.
weird questions.
What you do is you take a mouse, a regular healthy mouse, right? You take a human, a healthy human, all right, and you take whatever genetic makeup from the human, and you try to genetically engineer a mouse that mimics certain aspects of the human body, so you can have more clear and concise research with the results, right? So you're trying to mimic a healthy human's body parts. For instance, a mouse will have different stomach acid than a human, right? So you try to
Adam,
genetically
so
engineer.
Adam, I get that
I'm
part.
trying to answer you. I'm trying to
I get
answer.
that part, Adam. Okay, so my question, this is just a clarifying question. Are you saying that the DNA was extracted from just any regular human, healthy human?
Healthy human.
Any regular healthy human?
Yeah. It's
For
the
cancer and
purpose.
HIV research.
The purpose is to get the mouse's body to. So basically, when we introduce
Adam, do you understand the
cancer,
question that I just asked? Based on this study, which you or someone else said was for HIV and cancer research, are we clear on that? Because that's what you all told me. I'm not aware of that part.
yes, it's.
Okay.
I'm just trying to clarify here. If I could just have a moment to clarify.
You can, however, I want to make sure we're both on the same page while you're flowing with your conversation.
Okay.
So this is cancer and HIV research, correct?
Yeah. Before we even get to the cancer and HIV part, you're trying to mimic. You're trying to get the mouse to mimic certain aspects of the human body. Like I said, for instance, stomach acid in a mouse is going to be different than a human. So you try to tweak it so it more closely mimics how a human's body acts, right? So then after that, you take cancer or HIV and you introduce it to the mouse. And then now you have a mouse that has HIV or cancer, but it also has human aspects to its body. You know, it has like different stomach lining than the normal mouse would, or what have you. Then you take your treatments. For cancer, there are certain steroids that a cancer patient takes that my mom took that had high quantities of testosterone within the steroid. And you give it to the mouse that has cancer, and you see how it affects the mouse. And we take from that and we say, well, it didn't automatically kill this mouse, so maybe we could test it further down the line on see how it gives us positive results here. Maybe it'll also give us positive results on a experimental phase with humans. So this is
And also, here's the other thing too. Disease doesn't discriminate.
No, Ross.
Disease doesn't discriminate.
This has nothing to do with not even on the discrimination.
Ross, because I'm trying to process what he's saying, but it's just not making sense. It's not.
You know what?
What part does not make sense?
Hold on, wait. This is what makes sense. They just hold on a second. They just sat here and agreed with each other. I'm looking at the comments in the chat that you would take human DNA and put it in the mouse and then put something in there that would do something to the human DNA. Am I correct there? So
It's
now
synthesized.
after that,
You genetically engineer a mouse so it has certain aspects that mimic
I'm
a
saying
human.
what you just said. So with the treatment for gender transformation or whatever you call it, you couldn't put it in the mouse also and to see what it does to the mouse as a human?
With the human cells. That's already.
It wasn't this study, but that wasn't the study. This
All
mouse
right,
in 2023
I
study.
land my plane. I'm done.
Right. But here's the thing. This is why I'm not following you. If I just told you, say for instance, we have a population of people that's on medication for gender affirming care. We take their cells and inject it into these mice. And by the way,
Not what we
transgenic, excuse me,
Just stop right there. That's where we're trying to help you. Stop right there. That's where you're.
Let her go. Let us talk. Let her talk, dude.
Tell me to stop right there, Ross. What's wrong with you? Is this your first time here?
That's where you're mistaken. I was trying to help you right there. Say it because you'll keep talking.
Is this your first time here, Ross?
In yours, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I've kind of figured that. Nevertheless, if the population of humans are taking gender affirming medication and they inject that DNA into the mice, that's where I'm going with this. Do I still need to be stopped right there, Ross? Because that's the only part that I said. You said I'm gonna stop you right there.
But you still mistake sex and gender. You still mistake it. They're two totally different things.
What?
They're not going to
I'm
change
not
the
even
sex of the mouse
talking
ever.
about. I'm not even talking about gender and
You
sex.
think that taking these things are changing me like a sex change is basically what you're
Hey,
thinking.
let me
What are
help
you
you out.
talking
Let
about?
me
I'm
help you out.
talking about. Hold on
Let
one
the
second.
host
I'm
talk.
talking
This is
about
derailing.
whether or not it is a transgender, whether or not it's a woman or a man. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about the human that's actually taking this medication for gender affirming care. I don't care what they identify as. I don't care about their sex. Now, to the point that I was making, don't care about their sex. This research that they're doing with these mouse would be very specific and hone in on whether or not they're male or female or et cetera, but we don't know that. These mouse these were all women were these all human women, sex and gender, female or whatever, that identified as women that the human cells were extracted from? Do you know that?
That wasn't what the project was. The
Okay,
research
that's
project
what I'm
was.
speaking to, and you said you do know that. So
What
that's
we
what I
do
just
know is what the
asked you.
project was.
You know what? I am very specific with my questions because I'm very direct in where I'm going and the flow of the conversation so that I understand. So, again, I stated something. You said we do know that. Now, I'm going to ask you, Adam, do we know the specific population of humans whose DNA was extracted and put into the mice?
No.
Thank you. Moving
Okay.
along. However, so this is, excuse me, because you said we do know that. Now you're saying you don't. Okay, so I'm following you. So this is from this unspecified human population that DNA was extracted from. If this population was indeed that, now you're saying you don't. Okay, so for gender affirming care, when you extract their DNA and place it into the mice would have that DNA, correct? With the gender affirming care medication already in it, correct?
No.
Okay. Well, then I don't know what I'm talking about. So you
Okay.
can help me there.
So the thing I can help you with is what we're speaking on is a 2023 study with transgenic mice. The reason that CNN had to retract.
I'm not.
The reason that CNN had to retract, which started all this.
Yeah, but I don't care about I don't care about that. What I care about is how we have come to a position to say that they were not doing some type of studying of gender affirming care, how it relates and how HIV or cancer relates to that. That's where I'm going with that. How can we say that when we don't have all the answers or know that? And
We know what the project was.
I'm gonna ask the whole panel this. If there's a man with HIV and we extract his human cells and put it into that rat or mice, would that mice or rat more than likely have HIV or been introduced to HIV through that injection?
Yes.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. This is wow. Okay. All right. Cool.
So may I explain myself?
You can explain yourself, but every time I'm asking these questions, you go back and say something different. But go ahead.
I'm not saying anything different. My arguments have not changed since we went on to the subject.
Yeah, it has.
No, it has not.
It
I assure you, no, it has not.
but nevertheless,
100% has not. I'm sorry.
sir, you were the same person that said, yes, we know the population of the humans.
We know that they took healthy DNA that was uncorrupted by like chemicals. When you take when you take
Let me pull
samples
up the
for
study.
this to genetically engineer a mouse, you're not looking for somebody who is diseased with cancer or HIV to genetically engineer a mouse. You're looking for regular, garden variety, plain as mayo.
Y'all can let me do some research on transgender mice and what's happening.
To genetically engineer a mouse.
It was a 2023 study.
If they did it for AIDS and cancer, couldn't they have done the same for transgender?
That wasn't what happened
Transgender
with
isn't
the
a disease,
study.
so that's a little different.
Oh, hold on. Don't derail, Ross, please. I'm trying to explain this.
Mice.
Explain this. Are any of you who are saying she don't know what she talking about scientists?
I'm quoting.
I don't
this
know what I'm
reported
talking
study.
about. To be honest with you, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just asking clarifying questions so
I know, but
I'm trying to clarify.
They acting like they're
Don't get interrupted.
scientists.
They're not.
acting like
They
they're
don't know what
scientists.
they're talking about. So what was
Right.
this?
I'm reading from the
I'm pulling
article.
this up. I'm pulling it up. You said it was a 2003 study.
2023.
2023 transgenic mice study. And by the way, anytime you introduce a foreign object or DNA into these animals, all of them are considered transgenic, right?
Sure. If they're genetically modified, then yeah.
Transgender mice, the secret transition. Okay, let's see.
Transgender is different from transgenic.
I know that.
Not just for you.
Could we
I'm
just
not
say
saying
that it
that
was a
just for you.
mistake
I'm saying
to
that
move
for the
on?
crowd because I keep on seeing comments saying I'm getting caught up by the comments. My fault.
Oh yeah, I don't read the comments when I'm talking. Only when I'm reading it to everyone else. All right, so where did you transgenic marine models for study of drugs, National Center of Bio.
I'm getting the International Business Times reported on this story after Trump's comments in the State of the Union address. I can't link the article because it's too many characters in the link. I guess character limit reached whenever I try to link the article. The International Business Times did report on this. It says in the report that the transgenic mice study was from 2023. Michelle earlier said that CNN had to retract. The reason CNN had to retract is because they had an irresponsible reporter who went off and tried to correct Donald Trump by quoting a study from like 2021 or 2022 involving monkeys. It wasn't even what was being referred to even by Donald Trump. They just went into the left field. So CNN had to retract because they're a responsible reporter. That's why I went to somebody else, the International Business Times, for their report.
Sound like to me, you're trying to use this panel as an indictment on Donald Trump's character.
I've
understand.
always been indicting Donald Trump's character because it's indictable.
And your character seemed flawed as well.
I mean,
All right,
I'm not
so
perfect,
I'll read
but
it.
I ain't
It's
that
all right.
something.
I'll read it. I like to read stuff. So this is MSN. The title is CNN steps on the rake after fact checking Trump's transgender mice funding claim. So CNN issued a correction after the network inaccurately asserted that President Donald Trump falsely claimed the Biden administration spent $8 million to make mice transgender. So,
yeah.
so hold on. Who's I'm trying to go to the quote. Okay, so you all can talk. I'm going to read the quote here. I have the article pulled up.
I don't
going
want
to
to
read
interrupt you.
exactly what I do. Let me see.
So basically, CNN's error, the reporter's error, was going off into left field and talking about a study from 2021-22 involving monkeys. In that study itself, they took different medication that's used in gender affirming care, and they did actually use it on the monkeys in question. With the 2023 research, it was primarily focused towards HIV and cancer. It wasn't trying to quote unquote turn mice transgender. That's all.
But with Ross's
All right, I
bosses,
got it here.
he said
Okay,
monkeys
I got it
can't
here.
talk. So
It's all right. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I got it. Here it goes right here. It says the White House. Okay, Trump falsely claimed the Department of Government Efficiency identified government spending of $8 million for making mice transgender. That was CNN original fact check. The White House then released a statement listing 6 NIH grants for studies on hormone treatments in mice, a combined total of $8,290,000. The Biden era grants included $455,000 to study gender affirming hormone therapy on HIV vaccines induced immune responses. 2.5 million to study the reproductive consequences of hormone therapy, 299 and $940,000 to study testosterone therapy on breast cancer risk and treatment outcomes, 735,000 and $113 to study neoendocrine axis, and 3.1 million to study hormones as mediators of sex influence in asthma. All listed studies involve hormonal replacement in mice. So CNN's initial fact check when they said it only focused on 3 of those studies. The outlet later updated its page, changing Trump falsely claimed in parentheses to "this claim needs context." The outlet also explicitly acknowledged its earlier error, writing an earlier version of this item incorrectly characterized as false Trump claim about federal money being spent for making mice transgender. So again, I'm not sure if President Trump lied about that.
What was
Based
that
on what we
source?
just
Based on what we just read, you just read to us. At what part?
CNN, okay, so
Making
the
mice
White House
transgender.
also, excuse me, CNN was the one initially reported to us all that Trump lied. Okay, CNN was the one that had to backtrack and then report to us all that it needed context. They gave and listed the 6 studies that the White House, you can go look at it, had produced to us and what the money was spent on and how and what. So again, it's not based on me. I hope you did your own research because I'm listening to you doing my own and I found it.
Okay.
So now we
And-
still saying Trump lied or what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He clearly misspoke.
So yeah, it was a lie. None of those studies specifically are trying to turn mice transgender.
bro, you're a propaganda.
Can I
He's a
maybe weigh in? I
propagandist.
don't want to interrupt Candid.
Go ahead. I'm good. Go ahead.
Yeah, and again, I think this is like the problem with the debate necessarily is like they want to claim that these studies aren't in the effort to literally do HRT. But the whole point is that for them to achieve their study to see the effects of something that has gone through HRT is the point. Him claiming that it was a study to make those mice HRT is not necessarily an incorrect claim because you have to do that.
Except he did not say that.
You have to do that.
One, two is speaking. Hey, 1, 2. I didn't even know you were up here. Nice to see you. After that, I do have to get Miss Tamika because she really haven't made her position yet. Go ahead, 1, 2.
Yes, ma'am. So again, I don't think he like maybe I agree that the context is a little bit necessary to know which of the studies that are related to the total 8 million assigned to like NIH. That would be a helpful bit of context. But I think in the statement in and of itself, have been put onto the mice.
And so that is in and of itself, the study had to make them that. So again,
I think it's a little bit misaligned in your debate here, trying to say that it's not true, because it has to be for those studies to have tested the effects of those diseases or the effects of reproductive
And hormones.
outcomes. Yeah.
And those hormonal changes and all of that. So everything was focused on hormones as the thing read. So I mean, look, I get that we may have a problem with Trump. I get that, and I agree with you. Sometimes I think that what he says is exaggerated. But I don't think we can say these things are not true. I don't know why. I think we just want Trump to be wrong. But it's just weird that we would just, again, after even reading that, totally say that he still lied about everything.
So my mother, I just want to explain this real quick. My mother, she like grew up hard Democrat with her whole family, like all my family that's really close to me as far as like driving distance, the ones I connect with, they're all grown up Democrat. And I voted for Trump, obviously. I even make music for Trump back in the day when I did political stuff. You can check out the YouTube later. But all I'm saying is I can't go to their house and have a debate with anyone, because anything that I say that has any kind of truth to it, they get combative, defenseful, and it's almost like I'm not even talking to my family. It changes them into a different person. So I can tell you that the reactions from the people that have this tremendous hate for Trump because of the media basically telling you to, and no other reason besides that, because if you looked at Trump's past and you saw all the good stuff he doesn't even ask for any gratitude from, like all the people that he fucking helps behind closed doors that he doesn't even need to talk about, because in his character it just shows through.
That's right.
But it's to me, it's sad to see somebody that's literally trying to help everybody, because I've been in his situation with the music. With the political shit, I stopped doing political music because of the hate. But I could be in his position with this when I say I was literally trying to just put awareness out for everyone and do good for people. And it seems like if that's what Trump's doing and he's trying to do it, it's like you're trying to find an even more of a reason to hate the man, because you just have it in your heart. And what I've learned throughout the years of being alive for 39 years is once a person's heart is in the direction of where it first was, there's nothing that's going to change that person. In his heart, it's instilled to hate Trump because of whatever reason. But there's nothing that I can do, even if I'm your father, even if I'm your fucking best friend, I can't talk to you about nothing that has to do with Trump doing something right without you being combative, because you don't want to hear it. It's solidified in your heart that you hate him. And I'm in that position because people hate me just because of the political music. And there's nothing I can do to change that from you guys, perspective wise.
It's called a reprobated mind. It's called a reprobate mind. Biblically speaking, reprobate mind, but also a reprobated mind, where you have made up in your heart and mind to do that which is wrong, even though you know it's wrong, and you accepted it as right in your way of being. I think
and those people that also are the ones that have that hate and then try to come back because their friend said, no, give this guy a chance. Those people are giving you a show because their friend wants you to like them. It's not in their heart to like you. It's already been instilled. It's in my little brother, okay? It's not even with politics. It's just in general. My little brother hates my guts because of our childhood. And I wear it on my heart, dude, because there's nothing in my fucking soul that I can do.
Your little brother, though, that's different.
That's nothing I can do to change his mind about me. And it's gonna be.
It depends now. Now, if people experience Trump wronging them, that's different. If your brother experienced you doing something wrong to him, that's different. So,
Well, no, it's like what I'm saying to that is it's once it's instilled into their heart, the only thing I could say that would change their perspective or their mind is if something drastic happened in their life to where they had some sort of empathy for the situation and started to feel different within their heart.
Hopefully they realize they're all Americans. So I'm going to go to Miss Tamika. Thank you for that, Dana. Miss Tamika, what say you, Miss Tamika?
I'm fine. How are y'all this morning? I kind of jumped up here to defend you earlier and got stuck up here, but it's okay. I've enjoyed the conversation, even though I'm with him 100% on the fact that this is the first time I've been Democrat my whole life, and I voted Republican this year just because it was beneficial to me and my family. But with that being said, I am so torn with the people of the United States because one man has made all of us, or a lot of us, bitter, like terribly bitter. It's crazy because it don't matter. You like he said, it don't matter what you say. If you show anything that he did good, they're gonna find some wrong with it. Watching the address the other night, I was just heartbroken because not only were we on the United States stage, but we was on the world stage. And the way they demonstrated the United States, I would, if I was from a foreign country, I would think these people are gone crazy over here. I don't care how you feel about Trump, what you think he did. It had nothing to do with Trump, his speech, what he did accomplish. Morally, as a human being, we should have had the duty to respect those parents and those kids. Regardless of how you felt about him, you should have had enough heart to say, I am so sorry for your loss. I am so glad for your accomplishment. Because when we stop being human to each other, that's it. It's over. And I just see that happening because of one person, because of the hatred for one person. And I'm gonna get down. You can drop me down. I just wanted to say that.
No. That's sad because you're right, Tamika.
Hold on, Jay Hop, because I want to get some more people in. So, Adam or Ross, one of you want to respond to
Yes.
Tamika?
I would just ask. So where does Donald Trump's humanity come into play when he calls for the execution of the Central Park Five?
See, you still talking about Donald Trump?
Yeah, I am, because y'all lazy too much.
Wait.
Hey, let him get it out.
Can I answer that? Can I answer
Get up off
that?
your knees.
Right. Well, do you believe in
What do you mean by that, bro?
Hold on.
Y'all glazing them.
Ross, do you believe in a death penalty? Whoever just asked about the Central Park 5, do you believe in a death penalty?
Do I believe in the death penalty? No.
Oh, okay. Well, then, see, you're just someone that doesn't believe in a death penalty. I do. I didn't before, but I do, and other people do. Donald Trump believes in a death penalty. So if he's calling for the death penalty of those that did whatever, and a death
They didn't, though. They were.
Listen, a man calling for the death penalty to return and respect for police officers to return does not mean he doesn't have humanity. When in that ad, he talked about how it was sad and he was hurt by what actually happened to someone. So how can you say the man don't have humanity when his humanity and righteous indignation propelled him or compelled him to make that article? It doesn't make sense to me.
I call into question his humanity when he calls for the public execution of people that were not involved in the crime in which he was claiming.
This is. Can I respond to that, brother? Because this is the thing about that, right? Even though we know now today that those Central Park 6 guys were falsely accused and they was exonerated, right? Later on, years later. But at that time frame, people were operating on the mindset that they thought they were guilty, and it was not just the so-called white community. There were so-called black political leaders as well who thought these boys was guilty. So I understand the content that you have, you know what I'm saying, about it, but you can't judge people for making mistakes in a moment, in a time frame that all that happened, and then negate all the positive things that he has done for people from the community that you feel like that hatred comes from.
I
He
agree.
actually have real lifelong relationships with people from my community. So I can't just can't just look at a situation during a time frame when these things happen and deny all the evidence and stuff that was behind it. At that time, the world painted those boys as being guilty. So he fell into it. And if you feel like they're guilty and that stuff had happened, then yeah, you're gonna push a certain way towards it.
But what did he do? He didn't just believe they were guilty.
Hold on, Adam.
He used
Hold
his
on,
wealth
Adam,
to
hold
wield
on.
it against innocent people to
One-
call for their public execution.
1
On
second.
the page of newspapers in the city in which they reside.
Okay, are you aware, and is anybody aware on the panel that they weren't exonerated, that they could still be brought in for those charges? And like I said, y'all can look up. They were not exonerated. So that does leave a quite big question mark on what's going on. Because I've been.
You're saying they're not
Even
innocent.
so,
is what you're
even
saying.
so, the thing is, the man had humility and enough humility to say, if nobody else says it, I'm going to say it. We need to bring back the death penalty. Look what's happening to Black communities, Spanish, white, Asian communities. We can't even walk our dogs without, and the fear of getting raped or murdered and this and that. These murderers, he was speaking specifically to criminals who are murderers and people that do these horrible things. We need to bring back respect for police officers. Excuse me. We need to bring back respect for police officers and the death penalty. I don't see how you can argue that he is not showing humility or he's a madman, or some people say he's racist because of what he said in response to something that actually a brutal attack that actually happened on an innocent woman. I don't get that.
Can I clarify a few things as well? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead, Wintu.
Yeah, I know that like in a lot of cases, right, that especially due to age and stuff, like they're not allowed to actually disclose who was involved with those particular cases. And that particular ad was put out prior to any knowledge of who it was. And the actual headline itself didn't call out anybody particularly or directly. And so the later claim, right, after, we are sitting here debating this via hindsight, is that, we are connecting dots that didn't exist back then. And so for us to make this claim that it was directed towards them is actually false. There's no possible way it could have been directed towards them specifically, just the case itself.
So you're okay with private citizens calling for the execution of people, not knowing all the facts pertaining to the case?
No, I think his claim in the headline was saying, I'll answer you if you want to give me a second. So that headline just said, if you commit acts as heinous as those, then we would advocate for that particular penalty. That doesn't have any merit to state that this was against anybody of a particular demographic. It just says if you commit those kinds of acts, we should have those kinds of repercussions.
And I just want to put some truth to all that and why Donald Trump is implementing the death penalty in even further detail for you guys that don't comprehend or want to understand. Because if you did anything about the research or I don't even know how to say this on live, the traffic with the little ones. Yeah, with the little ones in the United States. In the United States, I want you to know that we're the most fucking kids missing in this fucking world. Okay?
Exactly.
Not even just that. Hold on. Sorry. Not even just that. Okay? When a drug dealer comes over here with fentanyl, or when a drug dealer just in his lifetime, when he gives out his drugs in his lifetime, he is susceptible to kill at least 500 people off of what his drugs have done with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So the crimes that are getting with the death penalty, other countries already have this implemented, and they don't got fucking problems with kids getting taken. They don't got fucking problems with the other shit I said.
No, that's inaccurate though, Jay. Those other countries are having that. having those issues as well. But I'm an advocate for that penalty as well. But I also want law enforcement and government agencies to be subject to those things as well, because the drug crisis and different things like that this country is suffering was helped to be implemented by these governmental entities. So as well as I'm with you guys, that people that commit crimes against these police officers and different things like that, that should be part of the penalty. But those who abuse those powers as well should be made examples of in the same place, because to see videos where you see a man that's being brutalized and unalive by several officers, you know what I'm saying, in their custody, those things should be unforgiven as well. So I'm for it, but I'm for a balance in it as well, because we need to relinquish ourselves of all justification or people feeling they can get away with unaliving another person.
And in response to Jay Hive, I've done the study. Every year there's 800,000 children missing, and that's the population of Alaska. So think about that.
That's just the children. That's just the children. That's not even the people. That's the children.
So his personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein doesn't upset any of you?
You know how many other countries have
What about Jesse Epstein? What?
He's trying to pivot again.
No, you guys are so worried about human trafficking and the kids, but this guy was boys with a human trafficker.
Bro, just let somebody else talk. God.
So just because
I would agree with
you guys are too busy glazing. I'm gonna step down. Y'all have a good relationship. Keep glazing them though.
So just because you don't want to hear something, man, that's usually what happens with Democrats when they leave, because they don't want to hear shit that's
no, you just
nobody's leaving.
His dick.
Hey, I'm lost. What?
Nobody's leaving. Here, I'd like to have a second though. I'll tell you a really unhinged reason why I don't like
Adam,
it.
that
It's really
was very
unhinged.
The host for second, Ross. Just
Hold
give
on
it a
one
second, bro.
second. Adam, I heard what you said. That was very rude and mean, but nevertheless, it's okay.
He been saying it the whole time. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. He been talking about, yeah, you're on your knees grazing them. What do you think he's saying?
Oh, I don't know what that means. I'm not really.
He's being disrespectful. He's saying that you got your face in Trump private parts. I've been saying this for the longest.
See, but usually you're
What
usually
I
when
can
people
say
say
to
that
my
type of
mod,
stuff-
hold on, J5 because I got to get new people in, and I appreciate the value add. I really do, and I will be going over to Mr. Denali XXL's live in a second. He has me presiding over a court case over there. I invite you all to come over, but nevertheless, I do have to go in a minute.
Okay, you can have my space.
I do want to hear. Let me hear Mr. Banks Martinez. He just came up, and then I'm gonna give. I got you, Ross. I'm gonna give us about 10, 15 more minutes. So 1, 2. How many of y'all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's one more person in the queue, Miss Katie. So that's 8. So I'll give you all 3 minutes to make your statement, closing statement and final thought. When to, I'm gonna start with you first. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's just important that, like, I think when we're looking at all of these facts, and a lot of it, whenever we have these debates, I always find that it comes back down that the position most people stand on are the optics of, how people perceive particular things. And, people will make statements. News outlets will set the optics. Some will retract it and actually correct it. But I think it's interesting that as soon as the optics are out there, and sort of the perspective of this particular, panel, where Underscore was, or I think his name was Adam, was making a lot of these positions. I think they were heavily seated on those optics rather than kind of being critically thinking about the points and the facts that people are making. And, I think the Central Park 5 is the perfect example of, again, optics were set up, shift your perspective, set yourself back in time for a second, and you could start to understand how people may have been considering or thinking about what they were doing and why they were doing things. And then when we look in hindsight, people try and connect dots that didn't exist in the past. But overarchingly, I think it's important for us all to do our best not to latch onto optics, not to latch on to headlines, and really take time and have dialogue and discourse like this where it's respectful, people have a chance to speak, and people have a chance to actually try and understand one another. And I appreciate that. And I'll yield my time there. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, too. I'll see you later. I'll be back here, I think, around 10 maybe tonight, I think. So I'll see you guys then. Let me go to Anonymous. Anonymous, you got 3 minutes.
Thank you, Candid. We started talking about reparations. Then we went to Department of Education. Then we went to redlining.
Yeah.
I was here the whole time. But
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, it's just the fact that I've been around for quite a few presidents, you know, and like I said, I was affected by what President Trump did the first time when he said he was cleaning out the swamp when it came to the VA. I was personally affected by that, being a veteran. So that's what kind of gave me my look at him. You know what I'm saying? I heard all the things. I know I spoke on this before, but I heard all the things he said. But sometimes you got to sit back and watch what someone's doing. Like people, everybody has an opinion. Everybody feels a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is, and I know you used a different word, but I like to use cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? That someone could see something, hear something, and still not believe it just because they're so, you know, deep into what they believe that they just refuse to see the truth. So, you know, I mean, I was a part of that too. So I can't sit here and say I wasn't a part of that, but you know, I'm all about evolving and becoming a better person, you know, and like I said, I'm sitting back and I'm watching what President Trump is doing. I'm paying very close attention. And so far, from what I've heard and what I've seen him actually do, he's doing okay by me. So, and with that, I'm going to land my plane.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, love. And it's always a pleasure to hear from you, Anonymous. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Ross Boss, what say you? You have 3 minutes, your final statement or closing thoughts.
Perfect. So I'll be really concise. My reasoning for not liking Trump has more to do with the economy than anything. I'm a career-long banker, and so I invite any one of y'all to go to this website. It's free and simple. It's going to help you out in the next few weeks and months ahead. It's the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank. Download the Economy Now app, or you can just get their weekly report, GDP Now. It's going to show, you know, kind of real-time estimates of what's going on. It's going to speak directly to month-over-month changes, and it's going to help everybody. My biggest thing is banks across the country are losing liquidity. We can't do a 10% credit card cap. People need to know these things. A lot of the things that he ran on from a finance perspective are just not possible. 20 years in the business, fintech professional. Very few people have the chops that I do. I promise you, this is all to help you guys. I would download that app today and I would watch, just because things are going to be rapidly changing. The tariffs are not a good thing, because we're getting retaliatory tariffs that are not being removed. And so if we have these things that constantly increase the price of food and everyday goods, just the way it is, capacity is drying up at these banks that aren't doing loans. I know several banks that aren't going to lend a single dollar this year. So that really needs to worry people, that's liquidity drying up. And even if you don't need to borrow, just think about the city.
Like 2008, which is actually happening. So if you're not utilizing, credit cards right now,
I would definitely use them just to be able to have that stopgap. You can pay them off, but utilize them. And the real reason why is because you're about ready to lose significant capacity when the banks start to do away with these. And the app is Economy Now. It's free. It's put out from the Atlanta Federal Reserve. It gives a lot of different indices too. So you can see unemployment. You can see some different things too. You can see where they get their information too. So it all sources it. It's really great business. There's no independent modeling agency that has done better than this. So that's it. Thank y'all.
Okay, who's
All right, you
next?
said that was Atlanta. That was Atlanta now.
Yeah, the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank.
Oh, okay. I have a few of those individuals that I'm in on Tuesdays and they come to the association. Are you here in Atlanta as well?
No, I'm in Dallas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have some really good information. I second that.
They're the one of the better feds. They have really strong leadership. You know, they're in the middle of one of the biggest economic growth centers in our country in the last 20 years, right? Atlanta. Anybody that's from that area knows that.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I a few of those individuals frequent some of the, well, we run in the same circles given that I'm in real estate and insurance here. So they come and they speak to us. They come and we host meetings with them and they give us the rundown. I'll be honest with you, I don't understand everything that they're saying, but apparently they are like leaders in whatever you just said. So I'll try my best to follow whatever they're saying because I don't really be asking a lot of questions when they come. I don't have money like that to be worried yet, but I'll definitely tune in a bit more now that you mentioned it. So yeah, thank you for coming. This is the Candid American Show. I hope you enjoyed yourself here, Ross. You're welcome to come back anytime. We do invite all people and all opinions, and to hear from you being a banker and how Trump's policies are impacting us would be great. So I'm not that biased. I do support my president and his efforts to make America great again, but I do know there's some things that I myself don't understand, and some things may not be as good as we take them for face value. So thank you again. You're welcome to come back.
For having me. And honestly, I lead with love and not with hate. So that's what I try to get out there. I don't like, I one of the things that I was taught as a child was never to use the word hate. And so whenever I hear that word used a lot in different lives, it's just like, man, we just need to lead the other direction. That's all it is. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Take care. All right. So I'm going to come right to you, godly man, but there's this person, Step just came up. No, Stop the Con Man. Stop the Con Man. What did you want to come up for? What did you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to comment on the last gentleman that was on here saying, I mean, and yourself as well, saying, you know, what Trump is doing and how he's doing great with this and that. As a black man, I mean, I have concern with how he's letting go all of the black leaders in different roles that they have in regards to generals and so forth, and then who he's replaced them with. Like, as a black individual, a black person, I mean, that's not concerning to you at all?
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
No, come on now. Come on
I'm
with
telling
something
you
better.
how I look at it. Trump giveth and Trump can take it away. It's, if he's doing what he cannot do at the capacity of president, then I have a problem with it. But if he's doing what he can do at the capacity of president, I'm okay with it. I may not like it, but it is a part of his plan. It's like a coach who I am a point guard, right? I play ball. I used to be a point guard and shooting guard. I may not like the play my coach wants me to run, but that's my coach. I respect my coach and my coach's leadership, so I'm gonna run that play. Regardless, I can pivot, I can kind of improvise if it hits the fan, but I have to go with the leadership that I am under. So that's my position. It's not my position as a black woman, as a woman. It's my position as an American that respects the office of president. I'm not concerned that some of these people are black that he's getting rid of, but a lot of them have been white. I'm not concerned if there's a racist issue. So I hope that answers your question.
Well, I mean, okay, it's not really all that much of a concern to me myself because, you know, yeah, it won't directly affect me, but I think it's disgusting But also, with all that being said, with the way he's doing things right now and the way things are going right now, this is making everything so volatile and shaky and scary. And that's all the way across the board. That's with everything. I mean, you're talking about the stock market being on shaky grounds, our relationship with different countries on shaky grounds. I mean, this is not what we need. So when y'all get on here saying, "Oh, this is what we need with President Trump," no, this is not what we need. You know, he's got companies, farmers, everyone not sure where they're going to go, what's going to happen. And the scary part is just this is just 1 month into this. Now we have to do this for 4 years. And that's the whole thing with Trump. It's just like Trump, and they keep saying he's a great businessman. Listen, Trump has failed so many times with businesses. And people keep saying, "Oh no, he's great." No, he's not great. No, he's not great. And that whole thing with Elon Musk was that the second rocket that exploded. That's our tax dollars just floating around in the air. Our tax dollars pays for those rockets, and there's no outrage with that. There's no outrage with that. They're like, "Well, look what he's saving," but at the same time, he's just just jacking off our money. Like, where's the concern with that? Where's the outrage with that? You know, I just don't understand it with sometimes with people. It just, like I said, I'm just at a loss with this. Like, none of this is really affecting me, directly. But it's just a shame to sit back and watch this stuff go, and watch the stock market and everything else just like shaky as it is. And that's what's concerning to me. I'm sorry if you can't see it, and you're like, "Oh well, just the way our leader is leading." Hey, if that's how you feel about it, we all are entitled to our opinions and views. If that's how you feel about it, hey, you're entitled to that. But it's just scary to me.
I get it. No, I certainly get it. I don't think it's scary as the person that you are and how you just articulated yourself. I don't think you fear anything. I think you are concerned, a concerned man, and I appreciate your concern for America and where we're going and another man's leadership. I think that any person who, I think it's our duty as Americans, if you feel like something is wrong or Americans are being wrong, you should stand up and say something, which is why I respect the Democrats, because I truly, genuinely believe a lot of you really do feel like it's wrong and you have genuine concern. But there are also a lot of others who are just fear mongering, have no concerns, and just don't like the fact that Trump is president. So it's not that I'm not concerned. I am concerned about some things, but I don't. When I'm concerned, I do research. When I'm concerned, I do research. When I'm concerned, I ask questions. I gain clarity. Passing of time, as Kamala Harris like to talk about, with the passage of time, time will reveal certain things. Right now, I know that our country and our countrymen and women, we're going to have to make sacrifices in order for these plans to be completely actualized, and we see the fruit of our labor, which is our patience and our sacrifices. I know that our country is not in the best place at this time. So my concern was the continuation of the last 4 years. Right now, I didn't know how the next 4 years would look, but I'm very grateful and thankful that it will not be a continuation of the last 4 years. And we have a new plan, a new man. And I just think that we just have to wait on some things. It may look crazy now. It may seem like he's being mean and a dictator, even with the federal cuts, with the jobs, but there are plenty other jobs. I believe it's like 8 million jobs right now that are vacant. There's a lot of things that he's doing that have a recourse or something is in place to supplement it. So I don't see, I'm not concerned. I see where other concerns can be, but I don't see him doing and being the way that you all see and perceive his behavior. If that
Well, let me ask you this. Do you not have any concerns when the president of the United States is basically enriching himself off of our tax dollars and off of the title of president. He's enriching himself. One second. He's enriching himself by the popularity of the president, the role of president. And if you can't see that, I'm not going to believe that you're that naive. I mean, you sound like you're pretty intelligent. If you can't, and I'm not going to believe that you're not that naive, that you don't see how he's enriching himself off of the title of the presidency of the United States. I'm not sure how you cannot see that. I'm really not sure how you. Really not sure how you cannot see that. And I'm really not sure how he takes a golf trip. He's enriching his company. Every time he takes any kind of trips, he's enriching himself. And the whole idea that he used the title of the president of the United States to sell Bibles, sell sneakers, sell watches, and so forth. Because he wasn't selling this stuff before he got the role of the title of president of the United States.
So brother, you keep.
Wait, but hold on, godly man. So are you saying that he is wrong for capitalizing off of people liking him and not liking him? I would rather him make his own money and not make money off of me. So he's making money off of us. But here's the thing. What I mean by that is he's not taking what's due to me. He's literally making money off of his own face, his own brand. Trump has a brand.
Off of the title.
But what I'm saying is Trump has a brand. That's a part of his business. He's still conducting business as Donald Trump. We think that Donald Trump is making money while he's president. That's what it sounds like.
No, what it sounds like is basically when he goes on golf trips to his resorts. We are hold on. He goes on golf trips to his resorts. He's enriching himself off of our tax dollars, okay? And this is a fact. You're not naive to this.
Deals are made on I'm in Atlanta. Deals are made on golf trips.
Listen. I don't care where you're at. What I'm saying to you is that anytime he goes on a golf trip to any resort of his, he's enriching himself off of our tax dollars. I'm sure you're not naive to this. I'm sure you're not.
Can I go ahead and shut this down and get my 3 minutes?
Huh?
Can I shut this down and get because he's
irritating. You're not shutting that down. You're not shutting that down.
Yeah. So you're starting to irritate me because you say you started out saying that you right, bro. Look, I've muted up and you said everything you had to say, right? Same respect. Now you sit here and you're coming from the perspective that you're a so-called black man, right? Then you tell us about your concerns, and then the problem I have with that, if those are your concerns, then why are you ignoring that those things are being exposed for years, for generations up in the government? When you talk about people that's enriching themselves off the American people dollar, that's exactly what's been going on within government as long as you've been living, as long as I've been living on this earth. So it has to be a change. And I'm not one of those people that's going to ever come into anything and not looking at this thing wholeheartedly, because I understand there's his truth, their truth, and there's the godly truth. And the godly truth, the thing is that America has been used by all these other countries and these other relationships that we had. And what we need here is a better focus on the American people. Those relationships that we have with these other countries should be based on something that benefit the American people. We need opportunities. We have a lot of things here in this country that we don't utilize for ourselves to benefit the American people and to resolve these issues that we have. So now you got a president that's more focused on empowering the people rather than taking their power from us. Instead of us sitting back, especially coming from our communities, because so much this government has implemented and put in place to put us behind the 8 ball that we're trying to get back. You know, we have entire cities and stuff that was decimated and taken and stripped from us so we wouldn't be able to garner enough wealth and resources to sustain ourselves. Now we're in a time frame where all these things can come back to us. I mean, you hear complaining about something along a racial line when you can look within the government and see that there's a coalition of people that represent all skin complexions that's working together against us. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just so tired of hearing that, and people that's thriving off that division and that fear mongering. These people put themselves in position in the first place is to get us to vote and support things against our own interests. So let's first sit back as Americans and really assess what make America great again really means for American people. That means us fueling and resolving ourselves. When you look at trillions of dollars being sent all over the world to help other people to fight wars and all other things that they're dealing with, yet still we don't take the same vigor when it comes to taking care of the American people. That should tell you that some people are gaining some capital off of focus, having us focusing on other people's issues. So I don't care about what people feel about Donald Trump as a person or what they want to do, believe he's racist or whatever. What I care about is what's actually happening in there, because I believe every American on some level has some form of racism in it because they've been selling us race our entire life.
That's right.
So now we need to understand what is better for us as a whole, and not just as individuals, because some of us are doing great. But we have family members, friends, and people like that that's in places that we come from that don't have those opportunities and have a wrong way of looking at it.
All right.
We can't continue to put them in a welfare state, meaning that we're giving them handouts. We got to be able to support something so they'll be able to feed themselves. Ask yourself why these businesses and these corporations were forced overseas and other places, removing opportunities that we have here in America for these people. We need those things back. So that's all I'm concerned with.
Right.
Can I respond to him?
Yeah, but here's
Can I
the
respond?
thing. I actually have to get going. I have to go to Denali's live. So I want this conversation to continue. I will be back here at 9 p.m. So in 1 hour and 8 minutes, I would invite both of you fellas back because I want to say something about the Black men and the division between those who voted for Trump and who voted for Harris, and finish up off this conversation between the two of you, because I think it's really good. And I don't want to go, but I did promise Denali.
That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate you bringing me up.
Candace, and you looking flawless too, sis.
Follow me, the comment, follow me, and please come back when you see me light up, okay? I want you back over